What is up, everybody? This is going to be our first podcast. Got Tony Wynn and Dave Tim, and hopefully Abby Romy will be coming in later on. She had some car issues. But we're going to kind of kick this first episode off with a little bit about us and what the podcast will be about, so you guys get a better idea of our listeners here. So we're going to talk a little bit about our origin of Apex, and then kind of the passion behind it, and our journey to help 1 million lives. So Tony, maybe give a brief overview of yourself, and then I'll do the same. And then when Abby comes in, we'll let her do the same thing. So
all right, sounds good, man. So basically, originally I was a pre-med student. I finished college. I was about to go to med school. And then at some point, I joined CrossFit and started working one-on-one with Dave here. And over the course of a year and a half, we chat a lot about fitness, health, and just the problems of medicine as a whole. Because I work in the ER for 5 years. A lot of times I see patients coming in, they're 70s, they're 400 pounds, they have 50 years of just crap building up over time. And really, we can't really do much from a standpoint of addressing their issues. We can help them ease their pain and live the remainder of their days in slightly better quality of life, but really it's really not there. And that really got me to becoming more interested in addressing the root cause. So what do I mean by that? The nutrition, the training, the mindset, and just getting people to become the best version of themselves. And that's when he and I started doing things such as SEAL Fit and the Modern Day Night Project. And then at some point in time, I started working for him as a coach at his location, CrossFit Credence. And one day we had a conversation along the lines of, it's like, hey, what if we scale this to other locations? What if we really go in on a more individualized approach and really helping people break free of their self-imposed limitations, becoming that best version of themselves, and beyond a traditional gym setting. And that's what led to Credence Apex.
Yeah, so my story is a little bit longer. I was the fat kid in high school, and it was my dream to be in the military. And when I went to the recruiter, I was told I needed to lose 30 pounds to get into the Air Force. So I took it to the extreme, and I lost 30 pounds in about a month. And then I lost another 20 pounds, like 2 months later. But that really kind of kicked off my want and need to learn more about fitness. So I started reading Flex magazines. I don't know if people remember those. And then the muscle and fitness ones, because back then the internet wasn't like it is today. So I would take the workout routines from those, and I would take the diet things from, Jay Cutler and whatever. And I was a little confused on why I didn't look like those guys, but they maybe had some extra help. So I actually started learning and taking in information at about the age of 16. And the cool thing is I had such an awesome transformation that coming into my senior year in high school, I looked totally different. I I had a growth spurt, so I was taller. I was just a more attractive person, and people treat you different when you're fit. And I didn't know that, right, until I was actually fit. So I lost all the weight. I started working out. I kept that. I just kept working out. I really have a big passion for exercise. I love how it feels. When I got to the Air Force, it kind of stuck with me. I met friends that wanted to do the same thing. We eventually found CrossFit, and that kind of led to another thing. I want to open a CrossFit gym. And then I met my wife, and she got into fitness with me. And then when I got out, it wasn't the right time because there was already a CrossFit gym in Rochester, where we're from. So I decided to go to college, and I got a bachelor's degree in community health and wellness coaching, which I don't know how much I used that, but it was good. And then after like going through college and stuff, I had to work a bunch of crap jobs, and I finally got a job as a personal trainer at a local global gym. And I worked there for several years. And I remember one day we were in a meeting, and Allie was working there. My wife was working there as well. And the boss comes in. Now, this guy was a weird dude. He would wear like pinstripe suits and like sunglasses inside, just like he looked like a mafia guy. But we were in this meeting, and he said, "I don't care if people get results. I just want their money." And then Allie and I looked at each other that day, and we were like, "I'm pretty sure that's not what we're here for." So she ended up quitting that day. We had 2 kids at the time, so I did not quit. But about 10 days later, I did. I quit 10 days later. We opened up CrossFit Credence in our garage. It was a 1-stall garage. We had like a tarp up. We went and bought, $500 of equipment on our credit card, and really shitty equipment. But we made things work, and we slowly gained clients. And really, it came down to us having just a passion to help people. Like I've always found it in my heart that fitness is super important, and people can get a lot out of that. So our passion led to a business, right, that ended up growing and growing over several years. It was not an overnight success. It was very, very hard. In fact, I was in college full-time a year in, and when I was in my internship at the county public health, I hated my life there. I was sitting in a cubicle. It was so boring. And I told Allie, I'm like, I don't want to do this. I just want to do the gym full time. So I think that's kind of like was our turning point, and when we decided that this is what we're going to do. And, from there we grew. We ended up moving into the place that we're in now. And we expanded again. And now we're on this journey through Apex to expand to help 1 million people throughout the world. So eventually franchise our business. And we're kind of at the very beginning parts of this. Apex was a vision that I had, and I wanted to share with, Tony was somebody that I was working with, and I saw him as being an asset on my team. And then there were some other people too that just didn't work out. But Abby, same idea, right? She has this like glow to her, and she's very passionate about helping other people. And you can just tell when she's working with other people that it fills her up. So that's kind of my story, just a little bit of the background. And I think the next thing we kind of want to go into is should we talk about the origins of Apex? Or
that's a good point.
So we'll transition into that right now. Like I said, if Abby comes in, we're going to have her talk a little bit about her background. So I guess we got Abby here now, so she's going to talk about her origin story with Apex, and then we'll move on to what we're going to talk about next. So, hi, Abby.
Hi, Dave. Hi, Tony. I'm Abby. I am here talking about my origin story. So I started with Apex. Actually, my journey started way back when with social work, and then it added in nursing and some management aspects, and I really feel like my whole picture of what I want to do is to be that type of person that's supportive of everyone in every way. And so it's pulling all aspects of my careers, different parts of my careers together so that I can help build a better life for other people.
Can you, how did you get started into fitness?
So fitness has always been something that's been an amazing part of my life. I loved running from junior high age, and what started it was beating a couple of elementary school mile records, and then it just kept growing from there. So then it was continuing to want to run faster and faster, and then at some point that transitioned into lifting, swimming, other avenues as your body changes and your life changes, and kind of growing from there.
And then how did you find us? Like, how did you find CrossFit Credence?
I found CrossFit Credence through a radio ad. I'm one of the only people I think that has been with it that long because of the radio ad. I heard it. It was a change of lifetime for me, and I had left a job, was starting a new job, and just wanted to get back into fitness as a primary way of building myself. And so I did the boot camp, very similar boot camp that we're running again now, and that started my journey, and I stuck with that, and then added the weightlifting side of CrossFit and fell in love. Loved the different type of styles of lifting and weightlifting and body mechanics and strength, and it just continued to grow from there and there.
Cool.
Yeah, so with that in mind, we can now talk kind of about the origin of Credence Apex and how we came to be. So to start, I kind of want to talk about the name and why we have the name that we do. Yeah. So really, well, when we were brainstorming the different options, so I knew I wanted to include the word credence, and because all of us originated from CrossFit Credence, and we wanted to have that as an origin story. And then when it comes to Apex, so from my standpoint, I see life as a journey where you grow, you find something, you hit a goal, you find something else. And I ran through several different options like path, peak, apex, mountain. But what really drove me to the word apex, one is the concept of the apex predator. Because in life, you win or you lose. And as unfortunate as it sounds, there are benefits to be a winner, and not only physically, mentally, emotionally, financially. And Apex represents that. It represents the outcome, the mountain peak, and it gives us a target to pursue, to become that apex version of yourself, to really be that best version of yourself. And that's why the word apex came to be.
Yeah, if you guys can see behind us here, for those of you just listening, we have a picture of a mountain behind us. So I think Abby might be able to actually explain that a little bit more for the mountain peak. But actually, can you explain that?
Yeah. So for anyone who's into mountain climbing or hiking, the apex is the very top of the mountain. It's the peak that you want to hit. It's what you climb for and aim for in life and in your goal. And so Apex became that vision for us of how you can create the best path for your life and the best vision for your life so that you hit that mountaintop within your own life, whatever that experience is, whatever those goals are, so that you can develop and become the best person that you want to be. And so we built that theme throughout all of what Apex is, from our programming to the picture behind us, to coaching, to just living your life the best that you can in the moment.
Yep.
For those of you that don't know, Abby loves hiking. We went out to Colorado several times, and I actually think the very first time I've actually went to the top of a mountain was with Abby and her husband. So like actually climbed to the top of a mountain, and I think there's something satisfying about getting there, but also like just because you've hit the apex of one mountain doesn't mean there's another mountain to climb.
Right.
So there's always something else to kind of work towards in life. And I think that that's important for our listeners and viewers to understand, is that you're always going to have another place to go and another mountain to climb. And I think that that makes life super interesting, and it makes life more fun. It also brings up a lot of challenges and can, like, you know, I don't know, almost tear you apart sometimes. But with everything that you conquer, like the feeling after that is just amazing. So
And I think when I add to that too, like every apex is different. So you get to the top of a mountain and
Every
the
view is
360
different.
view is
Yeah.
different. And sometimes you get to the top of the mountain and there's a mountain next to you and that one's taller. So, it's a continuous growth process. And I think part of the fun is the journey along the way.
Yeah.
Like the hike along the way. Seeing everything that's along the road, or the people that you meet, or the random weird
The goats that you
stuff
see, or
that just happens that you can't predict while you're hiking. And
I think you learn something about yourself on every hike. So like if we're taking this in like the form of a life, right? Every journey is slightly different, and that apex idea, I think it kind of collides with a lot of stuff in life. So it just makes sense, and it sounds cool too, I think.
Oh yeah.
So
That's a good word.
But yeah, that's kind of our apex story. And then the next thing I think we can talk about is probably overcoming some challenges here.
Mm-hmm.
So we have a lot of challenges that we're going through right now in building the business. And I think we're learning a lot about each other, and that's fine. We even had another partner that dropped out. And then kind of navigating through that has been a challenge as well. And then we added another partner who will be on one of these shows later on. So just kind of, I guess, every challenge is important to take on. And I'm not saying that they're easy, and I'm not saying that we handle them well all the time. But I just think that it's like a workout, right? You want to challenge yourself. If you just do the same thing every day for your workout, you're not going to get stronger. You're not going to get faster. Mm-hmm. You're going to kind of remain the same. So if we continue to challenge ourselves, then we should be able to continue to grow too.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, then when it comes to overcoming challenges, what I found through my coaching with Dave and then just several others is having a strong why. So why are you doing what you're doing? And so what do I mean by having a strong why? It's the motivation, the reasoning. It should be something that's profound, that drives you on good days and bad days. So for example, with the business with Credence Apex, if my why for Apex is to make money, well, guess what? Like right now, I'm probably better off working a 9 to 5 for 40 hours and probably make more than what I'll be making here for the next 3 years. So that's not a strong why. That's not going to get you to the end goal when things get hard. It has to be something beyond. And for me, that's helping people overcome self-limiting beliefs, helping people eliminate self-doubt. Basically, people that resemble me 5 years ago, I was that person who lacked the confidence, I was bound by the security of the stable employment, the security of
going
working,
to med school. And
yep, mm-hmm, working until I'm 65 and retiring in a job that I may or may not like. But the issue is we're also afraid of change because we lack that powerful motivator, that strong why, that we're not willing to make it happen.
Yeah, I think a lot of people make a mistake of like, I'm gonna work till I retire, right? Mm-hmm. But like, what do you do after retirement then?
Exactly.
I don't want to sit on a couch.
Yeah, so
I don't want to watch television. Like
when people talk about retirement, I'm like, well, what if I don't want to retire?
What if I don't want to be that person?
Right, like find something you love so much that you don't need a vacation from. Like I heard that from some other podcast. I don't remember who, but that really got me to thinking like, and this is what I'm doing, and it's something that drives me every day.
About.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. I'm not looking forward to weekends. Like any day is just another day.
Yeah,
like, I'm moving toward my vision. And then when it comes to working with clients, it's the same thing. If you're someone who comes to the gym and you're saying, hey, I need to lose 30 pounds so I can look good and get a girlfriend. Well, guess what? One day you might just get lucky and find someone who settles for you where you currently are. And well, that's when that motivator's gone. Well, guess what? You're still going to be that unpolished version of yourself who's struggling physically, mentally, because you didn't have that strong why to carry you through the tough times. Or maybe you're tired and sore, you wake up at 5 in the morning or even 8 in the morning, and you feel like not working out, and because you lack that strong motivator,
You don't work out.
exactly. And 5 years later, you're still the exact same person that you were, maybe even worse. And with the pandemic, that's precisely
I
what
think that
happened.
exacerbated a lot of stuff, the pandemic, with like how lazy people became, and like they got soft and they got like stuck in this, I'm just gonna sit at home and do nothing. So, and we're still seeing that with people that come in to like join. I haven't done anything for 3 years and I gained 50 pounds. Well, okay, well, what do we do to change that, and how can we help that? So like what we're doing like here is gonna, I think it's even more important now than maybe it was even 5 years ago, because the obesity epidemic isn't going away, and people are going to continue to get, you know, fatter and more out of shape and more unhealthy. So it's really our job to help those people out of this like
Rut.
rut, or like just terrible, like going down the wrong path. And how would you feel if you woke up and you were 65 years old, you're going to retire or whatever, I know we're talking about that, and you can't walk because you're so out of shape? And
Right.
so like, what does that retirement look like? You worked all these years, you saved all this money, you hit this mark, and then all of a sudden you had all these dreams of traveling or whatever,
And they're gone.
and they're all gone. You can't do any of it.
Right.
So what happens if you take care of yourself now?
And what if you do those things now?
Yeah, what if you're in shape
Why
enough
are
to
you
go?
waiting
Yeah,
till
I
you're 65?
love that.
Why are we not taking the moment to change that view as well, and living life as today could be my last?
Yeah.
Like, let's go out there and be that person. Throw away the alcohol. Throw away the chips. Get rid of the junk. That's
Video
in the house.
games, chuck 'em
Whatever
out.
it is, whatever is your vice that prevents you from being that person that you want to be, and make it count.
So what is your why?
Well, my why is for myself, becoming the person that when I look back, when I'm 80, I'd be proud of that person. Like, he is someone who reached his potential, and along the journey, I want to help other people do the same thing, realize the same thing, understand the reasoning why becoming the best version of yourself not only affects yourself, it
Affects everyone around you.
exactly. Like, if you're someone who's, let's say you have the heart out there, you want to help people, but you're broke. Well, the amount of impact you can create is minimal, because you can't even take care of yourself.
Yeah.
If you're physically fit, you're mentally strong, and you have all the money in the world, that's where people create impact, help the world at a larger scale, and that's what I'm all about.
Cool.
And then to kind of add to the motivator thing, what I find a lot of people do is they keep saying the time is not right. I need to wait for the right time.
Yeah.
Especially in the gym, when people say like, "Hey, I'm sick of how I'm living, but I got this driveway thing coming up that I need to pay for, so I'm gonna wait for 4 months, take care of some stuff, and then I'll join a gym." Or like in business, like, "Hey, we're going through a recession right now. There's not enough people paying money for stuff, so let's wait a few years, and when the economy is getting better, then we'll start the business." Or right now I have these 4 different excuses, whatever they are.
I
And
feel like there's always another reason to not do something, right?
exactly.
Yeah. What's your why?
I think my why is living to the best potential that I can in each day. And I've been given a unique set of goals, or of characteristics and talents, and I need to use those in the way that is best suited to serve the most people. I think
So can I ask why why not nursing? Because you're a nurse, right? You went through college, you spent all this time, you actually worked as a nurse for how many? 15 years. So why isn't that the place that you're helping people?
I lived through the pandemic on the nursing side of things. I participated in a couple of codes that were.
What's a code?
Someone who's clinically dead and you're trying to bring them back.
Okay.
So
Jeez.
we're in those moments and there's people everywhere. And
can I ask you what unit you worked on?
I was in the cardiac unit.
Okay.
And I hit a point where I realized I've always believed that there's not a stop to education. So if I back it up a little bit, and just because I have a degree in one thing or I have some skills in one area doesn't mean I need to stick with that. And so nursing was just a step for something else. I feel like my direction was always towards something bigger and something better. And I didn't know what that direction was or where that path was at the time, but it took redirection and refocusing and rebuilding. And so when the pandemic hit and you would see these codes and you would see these people that had lived a life where they were full of comorbidities that would enhance the side effects of COVID, so obesity, diabetes, lung diseases, all of the lists that can go on and on and on, I realized I have the opportunity to help people before they get there. And I'm a very empathetic person naturally, and so I think listening and then taking that to the next step is one area where I'd maybe differ from other people. So then we can pull in characteristics with different clientele of what's best suited for that individual.
Yeah.
So focused on proactive health that doesn't require health insurance. Rather than reactive health when it's a Band-Aid for something that if we would have changed the path towards whatever their Apex vision was 10 to 15 years ago, would have made a very different course and a very different view from the top. So for me, switching that view and helping others find that view. And not to say I haven't had my own set of struggles along the way. I think we all do.
Yeah.
Like, I think that's what makes us human. And I think,
I think that also makes life worth living.
Right. Yeah. Like I've had a really shitty day today, so let's just
But
throw
she's
that one
here
out there.
anyways,
But
doing
I'm
the
out
podcast
there.
with us.
Right? But so you have one day that's shitty, or you have a couple of days that are
Yeah.
shitty, but I'm making the overall goal of choosing to write the path and picking the better path for me, and hopefully being able to, and I think similarly for you guys, make an impact on other people where if maybe today I helped you make a decision that changes your path
Yes.
just a slight bit.
Absolutely.
That slight degree 10 years down the future will prevent a heart attack or will prevent type 2 diabetes from taking a leg or will keep your vision a few years longer. That longevity piece of things.
Yeah.
I think when I see Apex and when I was asked to be a part of this group, that was the potential that I saw in Dave and Tony. And when I saw that, that's what I wanted to build in myself or continue to develop in myself. So that's where we are. And we're still struggling. I mean, it's a business, right? I think that's half the problem is Dave has experience. Tony and I are still pretty novices in this, but I think part of the growth experience for us is then asking questions of the right individuals so that we can continue to have our own
experience.
And our own path grow.
Yeah. And then talking about struggling, I think that leads perfectly into our next topic is how do you succeed despite the struggles? And maybe you guys have different answers, but for me,
it's my why, bro.
Sorry.
All right, skip me.
Dave, your turn.
All right. Well, so my why, like I said kind of earlier in this, I really want to help other people, and like just having the one location, CrossFit Credence, I can only help a certain number of people. And how did, like, my thought process was, how do I reach even more people? So like that goal of 1 million, it sounds a little bit like up out of outer space, but why can't we do that? So like reach for the biggest goal possible, right? And then we're gonna work towards that. And I needed some people on my team to do this because I know I can't do it alone. So I found the best people that I thought would be able to help, and I think I was right. And my why is to reach that 1 million people, help them be healthier, be fit, be like leading their families to be healthier too, because it's going to be a trickle down approach, right? Mm-hmm. So if I'm in shape and I'm eating healthy and I'm exercising, hopefully my kids see that and kind of take that to heart, even if they don't do it right away. So that's my why. We can transition to what you were going to talk about.
Yeah, so essentially the next thing is, how do you succeed despite the struggles in life? And for me, it's the mentality. And during the project, I was told about this concept, the burn the boats. Historically, there was this, the Persians, they arrived on the shore about to engage the enemies. And before they actually did that, they burned all their boats. And basically, they're communicating two things. One, we're here, we're going to win, or we're going to die. There is no going home until victory is achieved. And for me, that was a very powerful thing because, again, with the risk averse mentality, a lot of people, and myself included, we used to go in giving ourselves backup plans, option B's, C's, and D's. Like, it's like if medical school doesn't work well, I'll go to pharmacy school. If that doesn't work, I'll go to nursing school. Whatever. Like, no, that's like that creates distractions. When things get hard, you're gonna want to quit. And with those options, with that sense of false safety plans to fall back on, you're gonna quit. So for me, burning the boats really means I have one option. Apex is either gonna succeed, reaching its 10-year vision and helping millions of people, or we're headed toward bankruptcy. There's no third outcome, and I am here until one of two outcomes are achieved. That's what burning the boats means to me. And in times of struggles, which I'm sure we're all struggling with, that's what's going to lead us to the finish line, because there is no daytime job to lure you back into that old version of yourself. There's no plan B. Having a plan B it creates distractions. Like one of my mentors, Trey Fisher, he's a Navy SEAL. Basically, when you have a plan B, you're going in when you're being screamed at by the BUDS instructors for 6 months straight. If your plan B was to work in the General Navy or whatever it is, you're not going to make it. You're going to ring the bell. You're going to quit on yourselves.
Yeah. So
that's, for me, is the answer of how do you get through struggles. I don't know what your thoughts are.
Yeah, I agree with that. I mean, I usually put myself in a situation where I have to do whatever I have to do, and eventually time will get you the outcome as long as you stick with it and put your heart into it.
Mm-hmm.
So I think what we're going to ask the viewers for this first episode is if you guys can find your why and maybe comment with it if you're comfortable with doing that, or you can send us like a DM. But, we'd like you to subscribe to our channel. You can like us on social media too. Mm-hmm. And we plan to do more of these and have more guests on. So we hope that you guys got something out of this and learned a little bit about us. And then, we're going to expand on this. But what is your why? what gets you out of bed in the morning. And if you don't have a why right now, I think it'd be important for you to like dig deep into yourself and find a reason to get up in the morning, because you're going to want to get more done if you do that, right?
Mm-hmm.
So
Yeah, I
What
think
else
it's a great start to the first episode. I mean, like Dave was mentioning, this is our first shot at this. It's not going to be the last, but we're tweaking things as we go. So,
Right.
and that's just part of
Learning.
learning
Growing.
life, right?
Yeah.
Like even in fitness, like you don't. If you wait for the right time, that time is never going to come. We're
No.
doing it now, and we'll tweak things as we go.
You got to just start.
Exactly.
Start with where you are, and it may be really bad first start, but everybody's a beginner, right?
Yep.
We are at one point
Yeah.
a beginner, and start from there.
Cool. But anyways, thanks for listening, and I hope you guys come back.
Like and subscribe.
Mm-hmm.